Zakat al-fitr is compulsory upon every single person, Muslim obviously, every single Muslim. The one that pays it is the one that's looking after the household. What does this mean? So if you're married, you've got a wife, you've got 2 kids. The husband, it's compulsory upon him to pay on him, his wife and his 2 kids. If the wife wants to pay on her own behalf, it's fine. If there are 2 sons that are working, they say, no, I want to pay on my own, that's fine. But you compulsory have to pay upon them. If they choose not to, then they don't have to. You have to. If they pay on themselves, khair, barak inshallah, no problem. So we should encourage them anyway. But it's compulsory upon the one that is obviously in charge of the household. Now, if there's a son or a daughter that has moved out, okay, let's stick to a son. If a son has moved out, he's living with his friends, he's living by himself, then he has to pay the zakat al-fitr. So whenever you're responsible upon yourself, that's when you pay your own zakat al-fitr. طيب. You have the time frame. There is difference of opinion between ulama. Some ulama say only last night. Some ulama say after the first half. Some ulama say no, from the entire month of Ramadan till just before. All ulama stop at this. All ulama stop at that. You have a limit all the way till before the Imam says Allahu Akbar for the Salat al-Eid. When the Imam says Allahu Akbar for Salat al-Eid, your time has ended. Your time has ended. So do not risk it. Wallahi al-Azim, when we take in the Zakat al-Fitr on Eid day, there are around 20 people that come after the Salah, they say, oh brother, Wallah, we didn't know, or we didn't have time. Don't risk it. If you haven't paid, get up and pay. If you haven't paid Zakat al-Fitr, get up and do it. Do not risk it. طيب. So that's the time frame. The other thing that's very important is that when you're giving this money, Zakat al-Fitr isn't money. You're not allowed to give Zakat al-Fitr in money. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to give Zakat al-Fitr in money. So when the organization is asking for the $17, this organization is taking your money and they will buy food for the poor, and then they'll give the food to the poor people. So you need to have this in your intention. You need to have this in your intention that this money, $17, I'm giving it to the organization. They're going to use this money to exchange it and then give it to the poor. Even some people choose themselves. They want to give the zakat to their own relatives, for example. You need to make sure, this is very important, you need to make sure that the money you're giving to them, first is trustworthy, or they're trustworthy, and then they're going to use it for food. They can't use it for rent. They can't use it for bills. They can't use it for petrol. No. They have to use it for food. Please. Okay, this is important. طيب. Usually people ask, what about my pregnant wife? My wife has a baby in her stomach. Do I have to pay on the janeen, on the baby in her stomach? It's highly recommended you do so. It's highly recommended that you pay even for the baby that's inside your wife's stomach, inshallah. طيب. So this is also something you need to be aware of. Now the other thing. Now this is the first time you've attended the masjid, for example. And this is the first time you've heard about Zakat al-Mal or Zakat al-Fitr. But this is speak about Zakat al-Fitr. You have no idea, say your parents didn't know and they didn't pay Zakat al-Fitr as well. And 10 years went past. What do? You have to pay Zakat al-Fitr for the years past. I'm going to say it again. If you haven't paid Zakat al-Fitr, you've been married for say 10 years, to make it easy. You've been married for 10 years, you had no idea. And you haven't paid Zakat al-Fitr, now you know it's compulsory upon you. It's fard. It's fard, compulsory upon you. What do? Forget about it and move on? No. Zakat, you must pay the Zakat al-Fitr. So, if you haven't paid for the years previously, when you're going to pay the Zakat al-Fitr now, you tell them, well, you don't have to tell them the reason, but tell them that it's for 5 times 10 years, for example. And then you pay it. You've got no choice. You have to pay Zakat al-Fitr even if you didn't know about it. Now that you do, alhamdulillah, subhanahu has blessed you to know this knowledge, and you haven't paid in the previous years, you pay now for Zakat al-Fitr. طيب. Also Zakat al-Mal is the same. Zakat al-Mal, if years went past, you had no idea about Zakat al-Mal, you didn't know about 2.5%, you have to sit back down and a rough estimation. طيب, you have to have a rough estimation of how much zakat that you have to pay, and you pay it. Do your best. And then you're going to ask the question, طيب, zakat al-fitr is $17 this year. Last year was 15, the year before was 13, the year before that was 12, so on and so forth. Do I pay $17 or do I pay, if you can remember the exact amount, alhamdulillah, khair wa barakah. If you can't, just be safe. Always in Islam, always about being safe, then sorry. So be safe about this, inshallah. And even if you go extra, don't forget that you're going to get rewarded for it, bi'idhnillahi jalla jalaluh, in this world and in the hereafter. So this is zakat al-fitr. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward you all. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله.